Welcome to the Flip Flop Power Hour, guys. How you doing, Aaron?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Robert.
And you're in Vermont. You're going to go skiing? Is that there's no
Yeah, we're
skiing in July, is there?
we're skiing. We should get a couple of runs in first thing in the morning before the sun comes up.
Is that true?
Really?
You can
No,
ski in
no, no,
July?
no. I'm kidding. No, no, no. It's like 90. It's like 90 here right now. It's like Puerto Rico weather.
If you want to jumpstart this, join us over on School. We've got a community of like-minded real estate investors and entrepreneurs who are just waiting for you to network with them and to learn with them and to do deals with them. If you're not sure what a deal is and you're worried about how to get started and you're looking for a community that you can come alongside and jumpstart your real estate investing career, we've got the community for you over on School. Click the link in the description. This is the kind of thing that we hope to do inside of the community, right? Is to hear about these opportunities and open it up the door for people who want to do real estate. You're a guy who knows what he's doing, has done it before, has been successful, and even like myself, I wouldn't ordinarily be exposed to deals in Maine. Like I would never be exposed to deals in Maine if it wasn't for you being a part of this community and bringing us this deal, right? And that really does sound like a pretty good deal. So I'm interested to see as we go through the conversation if there are going to be some people who want to hear more about it. I would hope so. I mean, listen, if you're a real estate investor and you're sitting on 100 grand and you like what you're hearing, this is something that's at least worth having the conversation about and seeing if you guys can come to a deal. And that's what we want to do inside of this community, right? Like that's what we want to hope to facilitate is to have a community that does deals together.
Aaron, have you considered getting a hard money loan on this and doing it as a flip to then refinance out the hard money lender to keep as an Airbnb and you just have 100% of the deal?
I have, and we may go that route depending on. So right now I held off. I reached out to you guys, whatever, 2 days ago. And thankfully you responded. I had some questions about the letter of intent and the timing on that. So my intentions now when I get back is to put the wheels in motion. And if somebody hasn't come forward and said, I'd love to partner up with you, Aaron, then my next pursuit is going to be to find somebody to lend me the money, myself. So yes, to answer your question, McKenna.
Aaron,
Awesome.
so I hear what you're saying, and I like that you're already thinking that way. I will encourage you that the way that I go about doing deals, this is just how I do it. I decide I'm going to do something, and I think it sounds like you've decided you're going to buy this, and then I would present it that way. Hey, flip flop community, what are we called? I don't even know. But anyways, guys, I'm doing this deal. Who would be interested in coming alongside of me? And that way you're inviting people to come in and you get to have conversations and hopefully you put a deal together. But regardless of whether or not it happens, you're determined and you're not unsure of what's going to happen. You're going to go forward and buy it. If you have to get a hard money loan, it's going to happen. That way, I just think it makes it more certain that you're going to actually do this and you're going to complete the project and you're going to make the money. So I like that little mindset shift, right? Into, hey, I'm doing this deal and who wants to come alongside of me? If somebody wants to do this with me, great. If not, no problem. I'm still doing it.
And it's also really powerful when you present it to a friend, a family member who has money to invest with you and they're not sure and they drag their heels and they end up missing on this deal. You go and do the deal, you make a ton of money. They're going to ask you about it the next time you talk to them and you're like, oh yeah, I made $100,000 on that one. And the next time you bring a deal to them, they 100% will be ready to go. And it's just a good way to present it when you're telling people what you're doing and inviting them in, as opposed to asking them to help you do it, and that you can't do it without them, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you already have a track record of success. So I know that you did the flip. I know that you've managed properties for other people in the area, and you were doing Airbnb stuff as well. So you have this proven track record that you really do know this area quite well. You want to talk about some of your other experience, just so that because I know you because we've spent some time together, but the rest of the community here, this is their first time meeting you.
Yeah. Well, if I had to do an elevator pitch on what I do, I'm a property manager, and I've been absolutely passionate about Airbnb since 2014. Um, I entered the market here in Maine when it was very, very new. I listed the 41st listing in the state of Maine. And when I put it on Airbnb, I took a booking within a few minutes, and I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. So, I've had my hands on. I don't know. We must be approaching about 100 doors in the last decade. We
Awesome.
we spent some time managing a resort. I hired a staff, and we took care of all the rentals and all the pool maintenance and all the check-ins and checkouts and all the so the hospitality side goes pretty almost as deep or deeper than the house flipping side. That was my most sort of recent endeavor where I went to learn. I wanted to learn how to flip houses, how to remodel houses, I did that for 3 or 4 years, flipping high-end houses. So I'm at a point now where I got a little piece of that ownership, Robert, I'm ready. I want to do this all the time. I want to flip houses, find people that want to flip houses with me. So yeah, that's my experience. I'm passionate about short-term rentals, and yeah, the sky's the limit if you're with the right people.
Aaron, if you've got, before we go to questions out there, do you have any other questions for us that you wanted to cover here tonight?
The only question that I have is how do I reciprocate, Robert? So we've had a lot of questions. That eventually I want to do business on the island.
Yeah.
There is some opportunity in having conversation about the tax incentives. And I know that I've got some friends here that, although they're not so interested in flipping houses in Maine, they might be interested in flipping houses in Puerto Rico, especially if there were some sort of tax incentive. So assuming I can use my experience and my enthusiasm, and this deal turns out super profitable and everyone wants to do business with me, Robert, how do I have conversations with the people that I know here in Maine about investing in Puerto Rico with me or with Adon or with you?
I think it's much the same that you would have the conversation about the deal you just presented. I'm always a deal first guy, right? So I think if you follow our channel, you'll hear me say that time and again, that I believe everything starts with going out and finding a great deal and then presenting it to people to come alongside you and doing it. It's nice that that you have a proven track record, and it's nice to be enthusiastic about it. But I think it all starts with finding a great deal. So perhaps there's something where we could do something if I've got a deal going on, and we've talked about other stuff, so that I'm not like surprising you here. We've talked about trying to do a deal in Puerto Rico before. So maybe there's a deal coming up that we can bring to some people that you want to introduce to Puerto Rico and put it together. And I could help you with that. But again, if you're going to do it on your own, or you're going to do it with Adon and McKenna or anybody, I really think that it's always a deal first type situation like that. That's the easiest place to have the conversation, to start jumping off into, hey, I'm doing this. And have you heard about hospitality in Puerto Rico? And why would you care about hospitality in Puerto Rico? It's not just that you get to buy A+ property and it cash flows like a beast, but you also get to take advantage of these tax credits and other benefits that happen through Act 60
And
that only happens in Puerto Rico, and opportunity zones. If somebody has, if they earn their money through capital gains, then they can defer capital gains and invest in an opportunity zone. Most of the island, you can stack opportunity zone investing with Act 60 tourism. And if you and I, for instance, were going to go to someone who you know in Maine that is a high net worth individual that's got some money, uh, I think we'd find a deal first. We'd play off a proven track record, and then we would sing about the glorious things that happen here on the island. You know, and I bet a small part of it, maybe it's a big part of it, would be, hey, what about investing in something on the ocean in Puerto Rico and coming and having use of the property they invest in, you know, during the really cold part of the year in
Right.
Maine.
Yeah,
That's probably a big selling,
yeah, yeah, that's the selling point right there,
that's
Rob.
probably a big selling point for where you are, specifically for where you are,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah. So you
I
got
have a
Alright.
question
something,
about your deal.
Sure.
Would you, because you're managing the property, would you be also taking a 20% management fee ahead of whatever dividends will be paid out monthly?
I think if I took on a partner, I wouldn't do that. If I went and took on hard money, I probably would.
Of course.
And I think the reasons for that are probably pretty obvious, but
Yeah.
I think that's how I would do it.
Okay.
yeah. That's the way we generally set up. Now, sometimes when you get going and you have a bunch of them, you'll outsource that management. And if you're outsourcing it and then it's not going well and then you take it over, maybe you do it for cheaper. Like if it was 20%, you come in and you do it for 15% and do a better job. But a lot of times, well, we're always outsourcing. So we only manage the management and in Puerto Rico, right? Like, so we do a lot of hospitality. And when we raise money, we are paying someone to do that management. So it does come off, but it's not us taking the money.
Okay. Yep.
I think especially with a single unit, it doesn't make a ton of sense to charge a management fee in a partnership. You know, if you're putting together a $5 million resort with hundreds of rooms and you're managing a
Bunch of
whole,
employees.
yeah, an enterprise, then I think there starts to be a conversation of, well, this is a larger deal. We should make this part of the deal structure that if I am going to do ongoing management, that we're going to have to pay somebody to do it. If I'm going to do it, I deserve to get paid. But when it's just a 1 unit, a 2 unit, a 3 unit, even,
And
that's not how I would do it.
yeah, and I like that really simple. The money gets half, the work gets half, right?
Yeah.
Like that is just such a great structure. Um, we've been really successful with that structure. And when I go into that relationship with a partner who's putting up the money, once we've decided what the deal is, we try not to change it a lot. Like we're not looking to make big changes down the road. We go into a partnership, the money gets half and the work gets half, and live with the deal that you've made. I see partnerships break up over it often, right? Like even in the scenario I said earlier, where you're paying someone 20% and you don't think they're doing a good job, and then you come in and do a better job at 15%, it can still rub your partner the wrong way, right? So I like your attitude of, hey, if I've got a partner and they're putting up the money, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be a good partner, and I'm going to kind of under promise, over deliver.